Hi, hello, and welcome to everybody to Golden Age Shooting. Today we are discussing rules of pistol. Okay, I will try to do it in a little bit of multiple languages where people can understand English, Hindi, Kannada. I'll mix it up a little bit here and there. When we say pistol, I'm talking specifically about air pistol. Okay, so air pistol will look something like this. I have a Walther to show. Then I have a Morini and titanium, and then I have a stair grip just to explain it a little better. So what we'll do is we'll go over the general rules first. Okay. So whenever you pick a rifle and out of the box, right, you just adjust the palm plate a little high-low, whichever angle you want, adjust the sights according to you. And then if you're using the pistol and if you're shooting, trust me, you will never have a problem unless you have a excessive, too big of a big sized grip, right? So you will not be disqualified. So somebody, let's say, very small hands and using very big grip, the problems will surface, which I will discuss later. So that will not happen unless it, as long as it is fitting your hand correctly and it's out of the factory, out of the box, you're always safe. So you'll never have any problem relating to ISSF rules. So what is the ISSF? What do you mean by ISSF rules? ISSF rules means giving you a fair chance to compete against each other. So that means somebody doesn't have an undue advantage over you, and his performance is not enhanced because of certain modifications to the grip, which will give him that undue advantage, and that could undermine your performance. Even though you are best, they have taken some advantage which is unfair. Okay, so they've laid out rules under which we have to operate. So what are the rules and where are these rules implemented? These rules are generally implemented in two parts. One is what we call as equipment control. So before you go to your pre-nationals or nationals, there is something we call as equipment control office, where equipment control people are sitting. There is juries. Okay, they are designated people for specific tasks. So what all do they check in the gun? So that is the first part we'll cover. First thing they'll check is the overall weight of the gun. So in the overall weight of the gun, they put it on a scale, weighing scale, and they check it. So what does the rule say? The rule says it has to be under 100 grams. Okay, so it has to be under 1,500 grams. I'm really sorry. So 1,500 grams, the whole weight of the gun, whether it is Walther, Morini, Badini, whichever pistol you use, the overall weight of the gun should not be more than pistol should not be more than 1,500 grams. Okay. So that being said, when I say 1,500 grams overall weight, and then they move on to check the trigger weight, which is this. So what do you mean by trigger weight? Trigger weight is pretty simple to understand. Let me grab a scale that we use to measure the weight of the trigger. So basically, when I load the gun, right, air pistol, and I squeeze it gently there, right? You see that? That's the first stage. First stage, the gun will not fire. The first stage is the free movement of the trigger. The second stage is where the sear will let go the hammer pin, which will strike the regulator to release air. Heard this noise? So that one, that noise. So the pressure required to squeeze that trigger down, the second stage, right, should be a minimum of 500 grams. And how was it verified? We use a tool like this, which is exactly 500 grams. You put it on the table. Just for your reference, I'm showing, right? So we have to place both our elbows on the table and gently touch. Okay, gently touch the trigger onto the weight and keeping it perpendicular to the ground, lift it up. If the weight comes up without firing, right, it need not raise so much. It need to raise only about uh, you know a paper's width, right? Only that much it needs to come up the air in air, the whole weight. So that means it takes minimum of 500 grams to lift the trigger. So that means it is clear. Next comes the modifications on the grip, okay, which we'll get to. And the second part is where the check is random, what we call as random check. A lot of people wouldn't know this if you haven't entered competitions. So after your competition is completed, right? When I say for you, the competition is completed when as soon as you finish your 40 shots. Okay. So as soon as you finish your 40 shots, the jury there, the range officer, issues random check notes to specific people who are selected for random check, and that is absolutely random. So they have ways of picking clips, and 1 out of 10 they put random numbers. So let's say 1 out of 10 if it's 5, so 5, lane number 5, lane number 15, lane number 25, lane number 35. Similarly, like that they pick, and they have rules how many random checks they need to do per detail. Okay, this is a fixed rule which the juries have to follow. And when you get for random check, what all do they check? Again, sometimes they do check the weight of the gun. Sometimes and always for air pistol, trust me, they will check the trigger weight. This is guaranteed. Third, they'll check the modifications on the grip. Okay. Fourth, size and dimensions of the after the grip modification, what all changes have happened to the grip, that they'll check. And possibly the palm plate touching the elbow bone, right? Sorry, the forearm, wrist bone. Okay, see that end of forearm. Okay, and starting off wrist, this bone should not rest on the palm plate. So this is a mandatory rule again, okay, which needs to be taken care of. So now getting to the modifications. What are the kind of modifications that are permitted and what are the kinds of modifications that are not permitted? Excuse me. So if you see here, this is straight out of the factory. Okay, this grip is straight out of factory and out of the box, brand new pistol. So there is no modifications on this. So this will pass, no doubt. Okay. So what are the rules that say? Okay, for you to make it very simple and easy to remember, the things that you need to take care of. You see this line here. This line has to be 90-degree flat. So most of the people, what they do is they add a lot of maybe MC or wood powder and make it, increase the height of this. So when you do that, you have to ensure that this line is always flat, and this line, okay, this curvature is permitted, but it should not be, the curve should not be here, which makes the person's hand to sit inside that. Okay, to not have any curvature here. So this line is enough. This has to be straight. Okay, these are two rules. And third, you see here, okay, when you see this part, and when I hold it this way, right, you should, nothing should extend in this side. That means the curvature should not follow your wrist. So these are the rules. So what we'll do, we'll look at a pistol that has been modified. Okay, so if you see, this is looks like heavily modified pistol. Okay, this is one of the top shooters, very good shooter we have, and he's been shooting well for very long. And this is the grip he uses, and this we have used M-seal and wood powder, a mixture of both, for two reasons. One is to enhance the weight of the gun as well, right, at the rear. So it is not only because we wanted the mold to work to the grip that he wanted, but also to add the weight. There are two reasons. It's not just one reason. So here, if you see this grip, you see here, when we grip it, there's nothing that is following the shape of the hand downwards. It is curve is upwards. So there is no problem. Next, you see this line here. This is flat, not touched, perfectly fine. See this line? This is flat. Done. So the other rules relating to gun is this line here. There should not be any modifications which allows the angle of the hand, angle of the thumb to change. Okay. So pretty much these are the rules. While modifying, all you have to remember is this thing. The biggest threat to modification that I've seen a lot of people didn't realize is they want a lot of, they say this area feels empty, the inside of the palm feels empty. So what they do is they put a big chunk of wood powder or MC and they make it really thick. So what happens, that increases the width, correct, of this. And if you see this, you see here, this we have ensured that this doesn't protrude beyond this portion. So when I take measurement of this using, let's say, a vernier caliper, okay, I have a vernier caliper with me. Okay, so I will flatten that. You see that? Hold it at the widest point. I'll hold it and check. So if you can see, okay, that is at 5 centimeter mark. So that is 1 millimeter under 5 centimeter mark. So what are the rules say relating to that? Okay, so I'll get to that right now. So the overall length of the pistil should not be more than 42 centimeters. So I'll pick only in this case. Overall length from end to start should not be more than 42 centimeters or 420 millimeters. Okay. See, this is approximately under. This is 42 centimeters. So this is well within the limit required for us. Okay. The overall length should not be more than 42 centimeters or 420 millimeters. The overall height from the bottom to the topmost point should not be more than 20 centimeters. No gun will be 20 centimeters. Trust me, I've seen a lot of guns. Not a single air pistol will be 20 centimeters. But why is it possible to be at 20 centimeters? Yes, Rink grips. If you see a few grips made by Rink, company called Rink, supposedly one of the best companies. They make very good grips. So that company has this modified version of a grip for Morini and Steyr. So that one of their grips is very long. If you see this Paris Olympics, the pistol that Manu Bakar held was from Rink. See the basic, it's very long. Okay, and then this palm plate is much higher and this sinks down to hold the circuit of a Morini. So that was an interesting modification we got to see. And what are the rules? So the overall dimension, I'll get to that first. The overall dimension is it should not be longer than 42 centimeters. It should not be taller than 20 centimeters, and it should not be thicker than 5 centimeters. So what they have a box which is measuring 420 millimeters, which is 42 centimeters by 420 by 20. Okay, and width inside the height of the box is 5 centimeters. So they keep the gun inside the box and slide a sheet of acrylic over that, so that the it has to slide without getting stopped by the curvature of the gun anywhere. So if that slides over, your gun is clear. But because of certain modifications, sometimes this becomes too thick, right? Few people make that mistake, too thick, and so they have you have to shave it off before competitions. It's trust me, it's not at all a good situation to be in after practicing long time with a certain modification and then changing at the last minute. It's not a good idea. So you better follow rules right now, get the modifications, whatever grip modifications, right? I also get these questions that whether modifications are absolutely necessary. See, I will tell you as a honest answer. Honest answer is modification to grip will not add points. Okay, your technique is what is adding points. Modification is making it more comfortable to shoot. So ultimately, what is important is your technique to shoot and not the modification. Okay, why I tell this? Because every coach would have learned how to modify pistol grips if that added value. Okay, and they would have been experts of pistol grip makers. They would be valued more than coaches. So trust me, technique is something that is very important. And follow your technique. Then comes the grip modifications. Okay, so let's do a little bit of recap. One is the pistol is checked in two times. One is during pre-competition, which is the equipment control. Okay, where you go and check before match where everything is fine. So if they clear it, 99% you will not have a problem. Post that comes your matches. So in a lot of competitions, there will not be equipment control prior to matches. Take this in writing, and sometimes if you get to the competitions very late, okay, and reached very late in the night, and next day first detail is your match, which is about 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, it match starts. So what happens is night you cannot get the all done because the person is not there, and early morning the equipment control jury wouldn't have arrived to the uh, competition venue where you can get the uh, equipment control done. So you have to enter competition with the confidence that your all the equipment is perfect and they will not fail if you are picked in random. And by some strange of luck, I've had this experience happening to lots and lots of students across academies and across states. I've seen those people who did not get the equipment check end up being in random and getting disqualified after the match for trigger issues or because of bad grip modification, wrong grip modifications. So kindly don't waste uh, an opportunity because you have fought really hard to get whichever level you've gotten to, and don't waste these opportunities by wrong modifications. Okay. So the other aspects of grip modification, like say, sometimes the grip will be too small. If you see this grip is very small for me, it becomes so damn tight, and it's not fully supporting me as well. Okay, it becomes damn tight, so it will stop a little bit of blood circulation in my hand. So this kind of small grip is not good for me to use. Though this will get cleared in equipment control. No problem. I can take a very small grip. I can hold like this and shoot as well. So they will not ask me why am I holding the grip like this. So that is out of question. Okay. Don't use very big grips because what happens, the wrist bone ends up touching the palm plate here. So don't use very big grips. So ensure that the grip is an ideal size or just one uh, size bigger than what you require, and you can pull this up a little bit to avoid the palm plate hitting the wrist bone. Okay, you can remember that part out. And then while making modifications, ensure these modifications are exterior. They are not something that they are extending to inside the guns, because if you damage the guns while modifying the grips, you cannot claim warranty. I know a student, I know actually three or four people who tried even filing complaints regarding manufacturing defects, and their claims were rejected only because they had a modified grip beyond uh, normal modifications. So you can't fight those cases. So even if there's manufacturing defect, there is a high chance that the manufacturer will reject or the dealer will reject the manufacturing warranty if the grip modifications have affected the internals. And mostly this will happen in electronic guns, and I have seen it time and again damaging the circuit and the wires while doing modifications. So kindly refrain from any modifications that affect the integrity of the gun. Okay. So what else we have to look at? We have looked at I'll recap. Size and dimension of the whole gun should be within 42 centimeters long, 20 centimeters height, and the uh, thickness or the height there is 5. Okay, width, height, and then the thickness is 5 centimeters. Height is 20 centimeters. 420 mm into 20 mm into 50 mm. That's the measurement box. Okay, and then comes the modifications. As I said, the grip, no part should touch the wrist bone. Okay, no part of the grip should touch the wrist bone. And while modifying, remember the internal parts of the gun should not be damaged. The external modifications you have to take care. And second is easiest to remember, the palm plate has to be flat. Okay, no curvature inside. You should not find any curvature there, and no support for thumb. Okay, that you can take. The normal ridge, what you see here is, that's it. Whatever company has given you, That is what you need to maintain, and that is permitted. And here, especially a lot of people, while modifying this, what they do is they end up making a downward curve here. So if there is a downward curve, 100%, the equipment control, or in random, you will be rejected. And if it happens in random, you're disqualified. If it happens in equipment control, you have a chance to rectify. And let me check if I have left out any parts. And yeah, we have mentioned trigger weight is 500 grams. The box size 420 to 200 into 50 mm. And yeah, curvatures is something we've already spoken of. And what are the things that how random is selected is one out of 8 people are selected for trigger and grip in random control. 1 out of 20 people are selected for shoes and body taping. So taping these days, if you see these fancy tapes, looking very nice and cool, which generally people wear in tennis, cricket. People wear it, and it's a necessary part of recovery. I'm not telling it's a bad thing to use, but in shooting, while shooting, it's not permitted. So kindly refrain from using them in any competition. So hopefully I've covered all the points. If you have any doubts, further doubts, kindly get back, post it in comments, and leave it there, or message us. We will definitely get back to you with whatever questions you have and answers to them. Please follow, share, and subscribe our channel for more such informative videos. And all the best for this competition season has just begun, and hopefully all of you will do well and succeed. Best wishes from Golden Ace team. Thank you.